has knocked the Patriots from the ranks of the unbeaten. This is the opening drive on a 1st and goal. Jackson says, why give it up when I can take it myself? And he genuinely walks in. The Patriots defense had allowed 0 drives of longer than 6.5 minutes this year. The Ravens had 3 of them last night. They all ended in touchdowns. Third quarter, it's a game, and then, oh my goodness, he's playing a game all of his own. Lamar Jackson would have eventually scored here. They go up 30-20. Later in the fourth, same score. Jackson again pulled by his offensive line into the end zone. Patriots defense had allowed 10 fourth quarter points all year long. They allowed 13 last night, and the Ravens win it by a score of 37-20, which brings us to our trivia this morning, which is brought to you by DAV, Disabled American Veterans. And here we go, Rex. You are under the spotlight here from Hembo. Who was the last quarterback? Lamar will take a shot at it. We think maybe in the playoffs. Who's the last quarterback to beat the Patriots twice in a season?
Well, I think all I have to do is look down at my arm and see that tad. The reason I got that tad is because Mark Sanchez whipped the Patriots twice in one season. That's the way it is. I'm going with it.
You are a national treasure.
You know what I'm saying?
The answer is Joe Flacco.
Yeah, of course it is. Now I'm going to get one with Flacco over here.
Flacco did it 2 years after Sanchez did it.
So nobody cares about Joe Flacco.
You're right, and also you're wrong. Meanwhile, just how good was Lamar last night? Let's take a closer look.
All right, we've got Dan Orlovsky here. I'm still trying to recover from the tat. Lamar Jackson, we're trying to describe him in our pre-show meeting, right? And he's just got that thing that you can't really quantify, but he also has something that you can explain.
Well, a big part of it is because his coaches put him in the right scheme, and it's really their 3 tight end zone read look, and it started the game for them. So remember, 3 tight ends. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and they put them 3 on the field to keep linebackers on the field, and then they're going to get into their zone read. And as they get into their zone read, this is what they do. They take this backside tight end, and he's going to be responsible to block that linebacker. And then they're going to pull this guy around to lead downfield for an alley block. And they give Lamar a simple read. They're going to read this unblocked defensive tackle right there, okay? If that defensive tackle squeezes down, you're going to keep this ball, Lamar, and follow that alley. If this defensive tackle flows out at all, you're going to have Mark Ingram on an easy handoff being led by that tight end going into that linebacker. Easy read, he steps out, you give it to him, easy 13, 14-yard carry for Mark Ingram. But you guys often hear me talk about plays for an offense need to look the same but have different options to them. Remember, I talked about 3 tight ends. They're on the field again. It's the same formation of the play I just showed you. Now this time, these tight ends are going to lead out and lead up on that linebacker. And they're going to once again give Lamar a simple read. What's that defensive tackle do? If this defensive tackle squeezes down, well, Lamar, you go take it and follow that blocking tight end. If this guy goes out, you would again give it to that running back with that lead blocking tight end. The defensive tackle squeezes down. He steps down because 3 plays before, he watched Lamar hand off to Mark Ingram for 13 yards. Look at this seam that you have created for your offense with a guy lead blocking. Lamar keeps it, becomes a 17-yard gain. Think about that as a defense. You presented me with the same personnel, the same formation, the same look, but you gave your quarterback an option off an unblocked guy. And listen, you could do it for a lot of quarterbacks, but when you do it with a guy who's got 4.3 speed, it's dangerous. And it's almost indefensible for a defense that because of that personnel and the quarterback running it.
I know Bill Belichick well, though. I feel like he will counter in what could potentially have been a preview of the AFC Championship. I can confidently say, Greeny, what we saw yesterday between the Bears and Eagles will not be a preview of a conference championship.
Accurate.
Most likely not. Mitch Trubisky and Matt Nagy trying to stop a 3-game losing streak with enormous scrutiny on the play of the quarterback. And early on, the Eagle defense is all over him. Trubisky can't avoid the sack here. And then later in the second with the Bears down 12-0, this one is going to be tipped and incomplete.
Well, the story of the game early on for the Bears was we're going to play in 3rd down drop back game, and they could not throw the ball downfield, and the Eagles defensive line dominated.
The Bears averaged 16 inches per play in the first half. third quarter, Jordan Howard adding to the lead against his former team. The Eagles are up 19-0. But don't look now. This one was not all on Trubisky. He does bring the Bears back into the game. There's David Montgomery for a big game. Ultimately, he's going to wind up scoring. The Bears get within 19-14. They've got a chance in the fourth quarter, and their much exalted defense could not get off the field. Philly converting third down after third down.
You know the Bears are going to stop them here. Surely to goodness, with this historic defense of theirs.
They couldn't get off the field, and the Eagles win by 8.
So when you hurt yourself and you don't create positive plays, you put yourself in a tough position. And good defenses like that are going to tee off with the rush, challenge you with man coverage, which they did, and we just didn't make enough plays.
It's frustrating for all of us. It's not what we wanted or where we know we should be, and so that's where it's at. But we gotta do everything we can to stick together.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here from a Chicago team that was a double doink away last year from maybe making a deep playoff run. Now here they are back against that same team. What are you seeing in the quarterback play first and foremost?
Well, I think it's very interesting the way Nagy has handled all of this. From telling Trubisky to go back and watch the TV copy so he can see his confidence and his body language. I mean, we're this deep into a season. You got a guy whose last year's QBR was number 3 in the entire league. Now you're telling him to watch the TV copy to see if his confidence has changed. Yes, his confidence has changed, and I would argue it's because the way Nagy is treating everything. Yesterday, what he does well, and the reason why he did have that number 3 QBR last year, is because he can move. Mitchell Trubisky is an athlete. Yesterday, there was 0 designed rollouts, 1 designed throw. Basically, they're having him just sit in there, take it, and hopefully his arm can handle it. And it's been proven time and time again this year that Mitchell Trubisky, with his arms and his feet planted, he cannot do it. It's just the way it goes. It's the way it is. And I believe, yes, Trubisky stinks this year, but also a lot of it has to be because of Nagy.
Matt Nagy's got a decision to make. Matt Nagy has to choose between saving his quarterback and potentially losing the locker room, or losing his quarterback to save the locker room. Because you can no longer continue to trot Mitchell Trubisky out there and call the offense that you're calling and expect the rest of the football team to buy into it. The first time you moved the pocket was 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's unfair to your football team to say, I'm putting him out there. This is the best chance for us to win, and the plays we're calling put us in the best position for success. Matt Nagy has a decision to make, and it needs to be made now.
So I don't disagree with anything either of you just said. I will, however, point out that the Bears and their much maligned quarterback got them within 1 score in that fourth quarter yesterday. And this defense that at the beginning of the year we were comparing to the 2000 Ravens and the 85 Bears gave up an 8-minute drive. They could not get their offense back on the
Greeny,
field.
first off, I never once compared this, to the 85 Bears. That was out there. Their players were saying and all that. First off, you don't have Buddy Ryan on the sideline. Make no mistake. Hell, you don't have Rex Ryan on the sideline. And that's the truth. Just look at the stats. I'll pound the facts, not just the table here.
Okay.
I'm telling the truth.
What are the facts?
The other thing is that the facts are this team isn't close defensively to those teams. It's not even close. And when I look at it this way, that's why there's plenty of blame to go around. Number one, there's plenty of blame on the coach. There should be. All right, it's the easiest offense to defend. I look at it, the formation. I'm like, oh, okay, here comes the basic route. Oh, they're tightening down. Oh, they're going to run the basic route. If I can see it on the TV copy, trust me, every defense coordinator can see it out there. The other thing, so, yeah, are you going to blame the quarterback? Yeah. You also should blame the defense. So there better not be any of this stuff, which I'm sure there's going to be, but there doesn't need to be. If you're really that good at defense, you win regardless.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some credit given to the Eagles in that moment, though, as well. I mean,
of course.
So that's the second straight week that they have gone in a fourth quarter, 8+ minute drive led by the quarterback to convert a bunch of third downs. I mean, that's the second straight week he's done it with third down, big time throws, some design, but getting the ball out to the right people in the right time. So I understand the talk about the Bears defense because they had gotten off the field a little bit. But this was another game in back-to-back weeks where Carson Wentz took a game over late and overcame some stuff to get a huge win at home for the Eagles. I look at it as the Eagles' offense and Wentz more than the Bears' defense.
And if you're a football guy, 16 plays, 8+ minute, 4 third down conversions. I mean, that's just a beautiful piece of 4-minute offense there by the Eagles. Yeah. And that's going to be tough to stop, especially if they can do that against the Bears' defense that was once the 85 Bears.
Oh, yeah, of course they were.
This is a team that's supposed to win with their defense. You don't allow that to happen. And then there's this. To say the Jets hit a new low yesterday would be an insult to old lows everywhere. We'll talk about it next. It's Get Up on ESPN. Get that guy up.